Greetings fellow beardsmen and other interested parties. Welcome to the Year Challenge where I, Earl Greybeard, grow my beard for an entire year. We're now 9 months in, would you believe it? And it's time for a bit of a review of progress. Have I met my objectives? Does the beard look the way I expected it to look? Is it as good as I'd hoped? And where do I go next with it? Stay tuned to find out. Oh, hello again everyone. Before we start, I'd like to show you something, a little souvenir. I picked this up in the local supermarket. It's a bottle of beer called Beardo. I totally love the picture on the front. I've kept it as an ornament in my room, in fact. Let me read what it says on the back to you. Cultivating the finest facial furniture is a complex task. The discerning beard wearer deserves a tipple of hoppy intensity to complement their efforts. And I'm sure we all agree with that. So you might want to use that perhaps as a reward to yourself when you meet one of your objectives. Totally love that. So it's good to take stock of things. I've been growing my beard now since February of this year, 2017. So it's 9 months. I've just had a trim at Cut and Grind down in Soho. Again, not much done, just sharpening up some of the edges. It's a nice neat shape here now. It's gone kind of square. The bit that I notice most is the moustache, in fact. I think this is so much easier and neater now that the ends have been trimmed, and it just feels more solid somehow. I think what happens is the later growing hairs catch up with the ones that got there first, and the more you trim, the more hairs you've got at the same length, so it feels that little bit longer. Not much off the length there, but it's certainly shaping up. So why have a review? Well, after 9 months, the interest may have waned a bit. I mean, yeah, after 1 or 2 months, you're all excited and it's going away there. After 9 months, it's probably about time to reinvigorate the interest in it so that you don't kind of fall into a slough, stop grooming it or whatever. So it's good to do a review for that. If you've set objectives, which I suggested you do in an earlier episode, it's good to review, have you met those objectives? And if you haven't, why not? And what future objectives do you have coming up? And it may be that your beard now looks different from the way you thought it might. It might be better, might be worse, longer, shorter. So a bit of planning or replanning might be necessary at this point. It may be that growing your beard for a year isn't right for you. You might be better off thinking about a shorter style, or it might be going so jolly well that you want to carry on forever. But it's good to review once in a while. Are things going? Are they really on track? So let's start the review. So as you can see, we've certainly come on a pretty fair way from those early days. But has the beard met my expectations? Is it the way I expected it to be when I started out? And the answer is actually both yes and no. Yes, in the sense that I totally love it. In fact, it's exceeded my expectations wildly. I never realized just how much I was going to enjoy this thing. I mean, just having the breeze blowing in your beard, the way you look, the effect you have on people, all of that are things that perhaps I didn't expect and I've come to actually love. So there's no way I would want to do without it from now on. But I wasn't prepared for just how it would look. It's not as sharp and neat as I might have hoped. Nothing wrong with it, but it's that little bit wavy, and therefore the style, especially a work in progress style as it is now, is just that little bit scruffier than I perhaps might have wanted. Maybe that's just a personal thing. Maybe other people see it as being really smart, but I'd have liked a rather more kind of chiseled effect, and maybe I can get that after 1 year. At the moment, work in progress, you're not trimming a lot, you're trying to keep all the options open, therefore leaving most of it alone. But yeah, we'll see after 1 year whether there can be a smart style for it. More on that later on. Now, what about my objectives? Now, if you've seen my earlier video on this, I had a 3-month objective that if I survived for 3 months, I would join the British Beard Club. If you can see this little badge up here, that's my British Beard Club membership badge. Rather smart little thing. I'm hoping to do some sort of review of the British Beard Club if I can get an interview with somebody or get to an event. But it's an organisation that's UK-wide, but it's stronger in some areas than others. Other areas have their own little clique and little clique that meets on other sites. But anyway, it's a good organisation to join for various reasons, and I'll try to cover that in more detail in another video. After 6 months, I set myself an objective, if I made it that far, that I would then as a reward buy myself some big wide tooth combs to cope with a longer beard, and I've done that. And I'll be making yet another video to show you how I'm getting on with that, because I think a longer beard requires some slightly different grooming considerations. And you can see how I've coped with it. I'm not trying to give you an expert view, I'm trying to give you the layman's view as somebody who's tried it, and you can see the results that I've achieved. In terms of length, excuse me, first of all, I wanted it to cover my top button of my shirt while it's done up, and as you can see, it's well past that. In fact, it's nearly touching my second button. I don't think it's going to quite meet the third button within 1 year, but it's going to get most of the way down there. So length objectives, yeah, we're getting there. I could do with a celebration to cover those. So where do I go next with this? Well, the first thing to state is I'm definitely still on target to keep going for 12 months. It's I'm loving it so much, there's no way I'm not continuing. But the thing I'm going to need to think about is what style I'm going to have it in at those 12 months. Perhaps that's something you can help me with, because at the moment I've no vision for what the style should be. It's going to be about this sort of length, or perhaps just slightly shorter, but can I get that in a smart style that won't spoil the beard? A lot of people think you should have it totally natural. Yeah, maybe my beard might work out that way, it looks better that way, but I'd quite like to do something else. So one of the things I'm looking forward to then is which style I should choose when that time comes, or even if I should keep on growing the thing. I'm going to have to decide after 12 months where to go with it. There are some other things I've noticed while going along as well. First of all, ties and collars, you can't actually see them anymore. I've got some shirts that have little buttons on the corner here and others that don't, and you can't tell whether you have or not because the beard now covers them up. Bow ties now start to become invisible. So that's both a plus and a minus. If you like bow ties, okay, that's a bit rough, but it does mean you can do quite a lot of things under here or even nothing, and nobody really knows because the beard's covering it all up. So that's pretty good. Certain clothes I find now suit me rather more, at least I think so, than they used to. I really love tweed jackets and stuff like that and hats. I think they look a heck of a lot better now than they did before I had the beard, so that's something. Another thing is that people I used to know no longer recognise me. Have you found that if you're growing your beard out? I keep bumping into people in the street and shops or out on my bike, and they give you this sort of look as if you're a foreigner they've never seen before. And that can be quite good actually. If you want to move on a bit and leave your old crowd behind, you can then just pick the people you want to keep in your circle by introducing yourself back to them and leave the others in the dark. I don't know, maybe that's something you might want to do. But finally, I feel more confident in myself. I'm walking around feeling a lot better about myself because I think I look all right. Is that vain? Is that bad? I have no idea. But I'm happy to be feeling good. It gives you that little bit of confidence if you're lacking it, that this thing looks like something good. So that's it, folks, with just 3 months to go. What I might give you is a little review of a little taster for what's coming up. People have been asking me when's the next video, so I thought I'd give you a bit of a list. First of all, I'm going to give a review of sea salt sprays. Are they really of any use to you? And what's out there? I've got 3 actually I've been trying, so I can tell you a bit about those. How to groom that longer beard without losing hair. or at least minimizing it as far as possible. I'm going to have a bit of a look at that, how I've been using that big comb. Is there a way to improve a beard? You know, can you diet, exercise, pills? Is there anything you can do or take or whatever that might help things along a bit if your beard's a bit straggly or hasn't quite got the texture or length that you're looking for? Very personal question. Does a beard make you look older? Some people close to me have been telling me that it does. So maybe we should ask a few people on the street and see what they think. Got a few other things in the pipeline as well, some interviews with people and so on, but I'll tell you about those when they come a bit nearer to fruition. Meanwhile, thanks for being with me, Earl Greybeard, on the Ear Challenge. See you again next time.